Hello and welcome to the final project review. My name is Ravi Sankar Sirivardhanage. My game DevilEscape is a thrilling MonoGame. You play as a runner who must escape from the devils that are constantly chasing you. Your goal is to avoid the devils and make it as far as possible before time runs out. As you play the game, you will notice a timer countdown running at the top of the game window. To successfully navigate through the game, you will need to avoid the devils and score before the time runs out. To make things more challenging, I've added a scoring system to the game. You will see a score in the lower left corner of the game window that increases as you pass each devil. This means that the more devils you pass, the higher your score will be. But that's not all. I've added also a high score feature to the game. When you start playing, the high score is set to 0, but as you play and score points, your high score will be updated and you can see your current high score in the lower right corner of the game window. This feature allows you to compete with yourself and try to beat your own high score each time you play the game. And the best part is that your high score will be saved even after you close the game window, so you can always come back and try to beat your previous score. Okay, perfect. That's basically it for the introduction, and let's dive into the game and start outrunning those devils. Okay, now I'm going to explain the functionality of the game. Um, well, this is the runner class, and runner class has several variables that controls character movement, such as position, speed, and boundary. The runner update function is the main game loop that updates the character's position based on the user's keyboard input. The keyboard state object is used to detect which arrow keys are pressed and adjust the character's position accordingly. Now I'm going to show how the runner character works in the game. Okay, press enter to begin. Okay, this is how my runner character works in the game. Okay, arrow key, if pressing arrow keys, I can move my runner character. Alright, and now I'm going to show my devil class. The devil class is a component of game that represent a character that moves across the screen. The devil class has properties that represent the devil's position, speed, boundary, and whether it has passed a certain point. It also has a private property that represents the devil's vertical position, and the devil class is capable of updating its position using a method called devil update. The devil's position is updated based on its speed and motion that affects its vertical position. The elapsed time is used to calculate the devil's position on the x-axis, while the motion is used to calculate the devil's position on the y-axis. Okay, and next, this class named devil action, which has a list of devil objects, runtime, full time, countdown timer, speed up, and highest time variables. The devil action class has a method named dv action update, which updates the state of the game. Uh, if run game is true, it subtracts the elapsed time from the countdown timer and adds it to the full time. Otherwise, it checks if the enter key is pressed and sets the run game to true and resets the game variables. The main functionality of this code is to add new devil objects to the list of devils at a fixed interval is specified by countdown timer, with increasing speed up and decreasing highest time values. Well, now I'm going to show how the devil character works in this game. Okay, press enter to begin. Okay, now you can see the motion and how my devil character works in this game. As you can see, my devil character is working perfectly. Okay, now I'm going to press escape, exit the game. Okay, and now I'm going to show you the main code of the game. This you can see some variables, and this is a load content method, and it loads various assets such as fonts and textures. Specifically, it loads devil game font and devil smoke and runner 2D textures. Additionally, the code checks if a file named highscore.txt exists. If it does, it reads the contents of the file and attempts to pass it as an integer. If successful, the integer value is assigned to the highscore variable. As you can see, I commented out some lines of code that set the high score to 0 and save it to the highscore.txt file. This code is designed to load and save the player's high score, but the functionality is currently disabled. If you want to always set the high score to 0 whenever the game starts, you can simply comment on these lines and commented uncomment these lines. That's it. These lines of code assign the value of 0 to the high score variable and write it to the highscore.txt file using the file.write all text method. Any previous high score that was saved in the highscore.txt file will be overwritten with the value of 0. Now I'm going to show you how these codes work. Okay, now I'm going to run the game. Okay, now you can see high score is 13. Okay, now press escape, exit, and now I'm going to comment on these lines of code and uncomment lines and again run the game. Oh, it works. Now you can see high score is 0. And this is my update method. Firstly, it checks if the user has pressed the escape key to exit the game. If not, it updates the game if the runner is true, indicating that the game is still running. Uh, if the elapsed seconds uh, is greater than the total time, which is a predefined maximum time limit for the game, then the runtime is set to false, indicating that the game is over. The player's position is reset and the devil objects are cleared. Um, and it updates the positions of the game entities, including players, runner, and the devils, and checks if the player has collided with any devils. If a collision occurs, the run game is set to false and the game is ended. Um, the player's position is reset and devils objects are cleared. The code also keeps tracking of the player's score, which is increased whenever the player passes a devil. If the game ends, the score is checked against the high score, and if the player's score is greater than the high score, the high score is updated and written to a file. Well, this code block is responsible for drawing the game on the screen. Uh, it first clears the screen with the blue color using the graphics device dot clear method, and then it begins the sprite batch using the sprite batch dot begin method, and it draws a smoke texture in the background and the player's runner sprite at the current position, and it then it then iterates through the devil's objects in the devil action dot devil's list and draws each devil sprite at its current position. Next, if the game is not running as indicated by the devil action dot run game equal false, it displays the press enter to begin message on the screen, which pulses back and forth using a sine wave, uh, and it displays the score, high score, and the remaining time using the drawString method of the sprite batch object, passing in the appropriate string and position information. Finally, it ends the sprite batch using the sprite batch end method and calls the base draw method to finalize uh, the drawing of the game. Well, I have successfully completed my game and I have now reached the end of my presentation. Thank you for taking the time to watch my project, and I hope you all enjoyed this presentation and found it informative. Thank you once again for your attention.